And we are back with another SDL podcast episode, folks. Welcome back. Me with my co-host, Mr. Nahoda. Edie, 3D behind the scenes. He's with us here today. We missed you guys the last 2 weeks. We're going to do a quick recap of the last 2 weeks. Then we're going to jump right into our playoff predictions and guess the lines. How you doing this week, Matt?
Fantastic. Good to be back. A little bit of a hiatus between the holidays. The HOA bye that we had kind of put a damper on things, but the last week of the season was a fun one. Some games really mattered, some didn't. But looking forward to the playoffs and the tight races that we have going into this toss-up, where I think genuinely 4 to 5 teams can win this whole thing over the next 3 weeks. It's gonna be crazy.
Yep, we're going to have some fun here. So just to recap the last 2 weeks, we're going to do a quick 2-minute drill here to pound through the last 2 weeks, give you the players of the week, the Lou winners, and give you a preview of what to expect in the playoffs coming up here. So we're going to get that started right now. 2 weeks ago, our first game of the night, we had white versus purple. White edged out purple there, 55-54. We had Mount Mirabal with a huge game, 22-17 and up 5. O'Hearn with 15, 12, and 1. Alex C had 16, 4, and 2. And Javon had 2, 6, and 5. He was a potential Lou Award winner there, 1 for 15. We had Brandon Silver, huge game, 21, 12, and 2. Reich, 16, 4, and 0. Sissio, 8, 11, and 4. Jared Shore, 4, 10. And Vasquez, 5 and 14 rebounds, but 2 for 19. That's a Lou candidate. Huge win for
Playing
White.
injured, playing injured.
Yep,
I might
playing
add.
injured though. Yeah,
Vasquez was
banged up.
definitely hurt, but he's coming back.
But that was definitely a huge win for White there. That was the second loss in a row there for Purple, or third loss actually there for them going into that. But our second game of the night there that week, we had Maroon Muscle versus the Yellow Light Hustlers. Maroon edged out 65-56. Saka had 29 and 4. Lebo had 15 and 4. Pepper had his usual 13, 21 and 5. And Berman had 9, 5 and 2. Sean had 8, 6 and 2 for Yellow. Lewis had 26 and 9, huge game for him. Ian had 13, 20 and 3 with 19 pi to go for that. Eric had 11, 13 and 4, and Mr. Goldstein had 6, 15 and 7. That was a huge win for Maroon there to move them up in the standings and keep them in playoff contention. And Yellow took another tough loss there. Game 3 of that night, we had the SDL Podcast Bowl. Me versus Nahoda there. We had the Green Long Gladiators versus the Orange Crush Playmakers. Green won 93-62. Perry had a huge game, MVP, Player of the Week, 45, 10 and 4. Armando, huge game, 28, 13 and 4. Joey had 17, 20 and 8. That's me. Nogues had 6, 14 and 3. Ansky for you guys had a huge game, 32, 13 and 3. James Ford had 25 and 1. Yourself, my co-host here, had 4, 9 and 2. And Rabbits had 3, 6, and 5. Tough loss for Orange, but it was a tight game for a little while there until it got out of hand. But we had another game that night. Red Eye Rebounders versus the Blue Collar Ballers here. Red won this game handily, 101-70. Coffer had 28, 17, and 10. Esco 22, 20, and 11. Huge game. Snyder 26, 1 and 5. Rosenthal 22, 8 and 7. Triple double watch. And Keen Jerper had 3, 5 and 0. Then for the Ballers, Furman 20, 11 and 4. 18, 10 and 7 for Mr. Rosenberg. Gary Del Greco, the camper, 14, 13 and 2. Bomber 12, 6 and 6. And Bobby Bucket 6, 3 and 3. Huge win there for Red. And our final game of the night this week 8 again, folks. Gray versus the Blacktop Legends. Gray won that game 57-52. Vlad 19, 10 and 3 on 50% shooting, 22 pi. Dennis 19, 5 and 2, his usual. Edie triple double watch, 11, 11 and 6. The Wall 6, 15 and 5. The Enforcer 2, 4 and 0 down low. And for the Legends, Jose at 26, 14 and 2. Huge game for Jose. Lon 8, 20 and 1. Monster rebounds. Bregman 10, 4 and 2. Essen 8 and 8. And Goodman had 0, 3 and 2. So for last week, we had our player of the week, Mr. Perry, 45, 10 and 4. 20 pi, player of the week. Huge game, Dr. Perry. And the Lou winner, Mr. Vasquez. I apologize to give it to you, but you're 2 for 19, 11%. He had the Lou, took the picture this week. So that was our week 8 recap. Now I'm going to roll right through last week's games as well, real quickly. We had a great week. Our last game of the regular season here. First game of the night, we had the Blacktop Legends versus the Maroon Muscle. Black won 62-58. Essen player of the game, 21, 14 and 4. Lon Don 16, 21 and 1. Jose in half a game, 11, 5 and 4. Bregman had 12, 10 and 3. And Goodman had 2, 7 and 3. Saka with a great game for the Muscle, 25, 7 and 3. Pepper 16, 15 and 3. Sean 11-2, Lebo 6-5, and Berman 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Couple more games here. We had the White Sneaker Warriors versus the Orange Crush Playmakers. Huge game from Alex C. 88-57. The White Sneaker Warriors pulled it out. Alex had 35, 12, and 4. O'Hearn, huge game, 26, 17, and 4. Vaughn had 22 and 6. Big J, huge rebounding night. 5 points, 28 rebounds, 16
Hmm.
assists. Monster game for Big J. Nahoda, monster game for you. 18, 16, and 3. Mr. Ford, 18, 10, and 3. Dansky, 10, 12, and 3. And Rabbits, 11, 14, and 3. Big win there for White to end out the regular season. 3 more games here. We had Yellow versus Red. Yellow with an upset, 61-42 over the Red Eye Rebounders. Vasquez, I'm sorry, no stats for that one. Sorry, guys. We don't have any stats.
Right.
Sports Physio, that's the only game we don't have. Huge win, though. Great defense by Lewis. He had a big game. Ian, Greg, all great performances. Red couldn't score much. 42 points is low for Red. 2 more games here, folks. Purple Patio Pounders, 65 over the Blue Collar Ballers, 58. This is tightly contested to the last few seconds. Vasquez, 23 and 9. Brandon Silver, huge game, 20, 14, and 3. Jared Shore, 12 and 9. Reich had 5, 4, and 1. And Sissio had 5 and 11. For the Ballers, Rosenberg, 17 and 6. Bomber, 14, 2 and 2. The Camper, 10, 19 and 3. Buckets had 11 and 7. And Furman had 6 and 10. Tough loss there for Blue. Purple locks in their number 1 seed in the Founders Division with that win. And the final game of the night, the final game of the regular season in Season 2, folks, we had the Graybeard Goats versus the Green Lawn Gladiators. The Goats ran away with this one, 93-78. Dennis Kelly with an MVP-type performance, 39, 7, and 8. Vlad with a huge shooting night, 30, 11, and 4. Edie with a monster triple-double watch, 24, 19, and 9. The Enforcer with 14 rebounds and 2 dimes. On the other side, Green Lawn Gladiators, we had Rob going for 46 and 3. Perry,
Crazy.
20, 13, and 5. Armando with a huge game, 12, 22, and 5. Bad shooting performance for myself. Joey, 4, 11, and 10. And Nogues pulled down 5 boards. So for last week, we had 4 candidates for the loop. Myself, 2 for 12, 17%. Reich, 2 for 15, 13%. Lebo, 2 for 13%, 15%. I'm sorry, 2 for 13, 15%. And Dansky, 4 for 22, 18%. So with that, the Lou winner this week, the last Lou winner of the regular season, goes to Mr. Lebo, one of the founders, with 15%, 11 misses on the week. Mr. Lebo, you are the Lou winner. And we will end it on a positive note. Player of the week, we had a few candidates here. We had Alex, huge game. O'Hearn, huge game. Jay, huge game. Edie, huge game. Vlad, huge game. Sasson, huge game. Hugest game of the week goes to the assassin, Mr. Dennis Kelly, 39, 7, and 8. Absolute dominant performance. And that's your 2-week, 2-minute journal recap of the last 2 weeks. Back to you, Matt.
Yeah, you out of breath? That was
I
incredible.
need a minute, guys.
The few funny notes. Perry scored in the 40s in that orange versus green game, but we lost camera for I think 4 minutes of play. All the stats were depressed for that 4 minutes. He might have gotten close to 50. He might have broken the scoring record, which I believe is 46, if I'm not mistaken. So really impressive stuff. It's a shame that whole thing wasn't on camera. Or is it that was an ugly one, as most of the orange games are? But yeah, really interesting stuff. Good 2-minute drill. Glad to be back. Glad that we have the Lou. We've got to get better at naming and getting that person. So should be interesting to see Maroon in the playoffs.
Who won?
Lebo,
Who won the Lou again?
Lebo. Well, Vasquez week 8,
Lebo.
Lebo week 9. So Lebo's the defender, the holder. Which, by the way, if Vasquez gets it in week 8, the 20-point performance holds up. Scored 23 points in week 9. So everybody that wins the Lou scores 20 the following week, except for Lewis. If you win it twice in a row, that doesn't happen.
That's right. The bounce back Lou curse is real.
The bounce back Lou curse is a very real thing. So what's coming up on the schedule here is we're gonna rip through Guess the Lines playoffs week 1, as well as the Toilet Bowl. And then we are gonna get into our, not the leagues, but our regular season awards voting. We've got MVP, Opoi, Depoy, Rookie of the Year, Best Edition of the League, and Most Improved Player. So stick around for that. But first, the most important thing that we have to do on the preview pod is guess the lines. And Edie, I believe you have those lines, so let's get to it.
I do have the lines. It is officially playoffs, single elimination. You win, you move on. You don't, you still play, but only to conserve more teammates for next season.
So we don't have to play back-to-back games like we did last year in the playoffs. That's a wonderful thing.
No.
Everybody's happy about that.
No, those are done. That was a one and done. We learned our lesson, and that will not happen again.
Yep.
So we're gonna jump right in. Game
Let's do
one,
it.
it's gonna be heated from the jump. We got the number 1 seed Purple Patio Pounders versus the number 4 seed Maroon Muscle. What do you guys got?
Joey, do you think Maroon might be the toughest four seed to have to play? Like if you're going to pick a team as a four seed, there's a handful of candidates for the four seed, both conferences, obviously. Maroon's just somebody I don't want to run into in the playoffs, right? I mean, that's really, really tough. Where are you at with this? Obviously, don't give away your pick yet, but
It's tough. Just looking back, Purple actually won game one by 20 something points. It was 66-42. I don't know if anyone was missing that night. I don't know if Saka was out, but
I think he was,
I
yeah.
think Saka was out. But Maroon has been trending in the right direction lately. You know what I mean? They
Hmm.
started off real slow. Now they're moving towards the playoffs. I mean, they lost last week, but it was good, hard fought game. Like we said, really tough number four seed. No one wants to see them in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
peaking at the right time. They played maroon, or they played black really tightly. Purple did just get off their schneid for this final week. Edie, who is going first in our guess the lines this week? Do you know?
You are going first.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Um,
You go first.
okay. Because I think I'm still winning, right? That's what we'll go with. Winner has to go first.
Sounds right.
I am gonna go a little off the wall here. I'm gonna say Reich, knowing what he does to his own team. I'm actually gonna say Maroon is going to be favored four
Ooh,
over one seed. And I'm going to say it's going to be close. I'm going to say it's Maroon minus half a point, 0.5.
okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And
I didn't even
to
actually
be
take into
clear, I
consider.
think purple should be favored. That's just
Right.
me. I'm trying to guess the line here.
I forgot Reich was the call on this, and that's his team as well too. I'm gonna play opposite to you though. I'm gonna stick to my gut here. I got purple as favorite. It's not. It's gonna be a tight game. I got purple minus 2.5.
So I think that's the right line for the record. If I was
Right.
actually placing my own line, I would have said purple minus 2.5.
That's what it's purple 2.5.
That is a wild one, Nahoda. Wild take off the jump. It's like you want Joey to catch up and even the score here because he did. You are off. It is purple minus 3.5 is the line. If you thought Reich was going to have himself as an underdog as the number 1 seed, you are sorely mistaken.
I thought he was going to give his team the nobody believes in us speech.
Mhm. I
That,
thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna take himself as an underdog and go bet the money line on Purple's house. So I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I think 3.5 is too high, frankly. I think these teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah.
Neither team has the traditional big, so they match up really well. Saka is a menace in the playoffs. The good news is for Purple, I think Vasquez is healthy now, who is, an MVP candidate for sure. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Put it this way, I don't
Right.
really care what this line is for game one. Probably the game I'm most excited to watch week one, genuinely.
Definitely opens up the playoffs with a bang. Purple, I think, to me, they're the deepest roster in the league. Everyone on the
Yeah.
roster can get hot, especially when Bright's hitting shots that really takes them to the next level. Sissio played great this season. Silver's been a great addition for them. Jared played great. Vasquez had an MVP caliber season. So it's going to be a great game. Maroon, like we just talked about them previously, peaking at the right time. This is going to be a clash of the Titans.
Yeah, absolutely. Game two.
Game 2 features the Creators Conference number 1 seed Red Eye Rebounders coming off of a surprising loss.
Hmm.
This is the number 4 Blue Collar Ballers, who you just never know what you're going to get with them.
100%.
Joey,
Yeah.
Joey, you're
The
first. Go
Ballers,
for it.
the Ballers got to be one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. You never know Jacqueline Hyde type performances you get out of that. One week they look like the best team in the league. The next week they lose handily and they can't get buckets to go down. So it's a tough one for me. Looking at the score from last time, Red won handily. I don't know who was missing from that game, but it was a 30-point win for Red a few weeks ago. But I can't ever count out Blue. Rosenberg, Bomber, Gary Del Greco's been coming out of his shell. He's been playing a lot more like season one Gary versus, first couple weeks. But what do you think, Matt, before we go lines?
Yeah, not only are they inconsistent week to week, they're inconsistent season to season. I mean, Gary was an all-star last year, has not been playing at an all-star level this year. Berg, you would think is an MVP candidate year in, year out. This year, has been, don't get me wrong, very good, but barely got the nod from the all-star perspective just because of his pie. I think this one is tough. I think it's going to be Red favored by a pretty good number, but I think you're first, Joey. So why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. You hit the nail on the head there. For me, I think Red's favorite. Now, what's the number? A 30-point game, first game, but we seen Red only score 40-something points last week versus Yellow. Now, were they playing possum a little bit? Like taking the foot off the gas, or were they? So I'm gonna say Red favored. Red minus 5.5.
I think that's low. I think that's low. I think we always say when we do this, anything within 7 tells us that we think this is going to be the Elam game. I don't think this is going to be an Elam game. I've got it at Red minus 7.5.
Very, very close. One of you is dead on the line for this week. It is going to be within Elam. It is Red Eye Rebounders minus 5.5. Joey takes it, which now I believe puts him in the lead for the overall season, up by 1.
Getting spicy, folks.
How's that possible? It's 10-10. I think it would be tied now, no? We've done an even amount of games this week so far.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the score coming into this, so this is news.
I thought you were up 1 going into this week.
I thought it was 2. We'll double check. I thought it was 2, and I think we'd be even now.
Even.
Yeah.
Which leads us into game 3 of the week, which will be the defending champions entering their battle for the bucket to keep it in their possession, which they did not do a very good job celebrating with it all season. So very disappointed there. Hopefully they step their game up if they do win. The Blacktop Legends are the 2 seed, and they're going up against Joey's Green Lawn Gladiators in the 3 seed spot.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one's an interesting game. I think, again, we talk about this all the time. I think Black is a low scoring team. I think they play good defense. They play slow. I'm assuming Jose is going to be there for the entire game and not partial like last time. But they beat Maroon, and Jose showed up at halftime. So I think it's a good matchup. I think Black down low with Lon matches up very well against your green team. But you on defense being able to cause Jose some fits, I think is the arrow in your quiver for green that might cause Black some issues. What do you think?
So yeah, I don't know if this might be breaking news. It might be a 5-on-4 game. Green might be down a player. We got a guy who's got illness this week. Rob might miss the game tomorrow. He's a little sick, so that obviously changes our game plan a little bit. Black is a tough team.
You're going to shoot less threes, I'll tell you that.
That's right. Yeah. Less threes will be shot. Black beat Green in their first matchup this season by 4. A little controversial ending there, but it was a tightly contested game. Could have went either way there. This is a good matchup here. We got some heavyweights going. If Perry can get hot, he's hard to keep up with. Obviously, Black has a great roster. Everyone on their team, they're not obviously you can't have 5 all-stars, but they got 5 all-stars in their position. They all do the right thing for their squad. It's gonna be a slugfest. I mean I think obviously my team's gonna come in as the dog, but I'm curious to think what you think the point is gonna be.
Edie, do you know if this line was pre or post Rob Russman potentially missing?
That would come down to what time that news came out. I got the lines.
Today, I think it was.
I got the lines at 11:25.
Okay, so that's prior to
Okay, so factor it like Rob is playing and it's a 5-on-5 game.
Yep, 5-on-5. So yeah, you're first on this one.
So I'm gonna go with if he had Red over Blue at 5.5. Black doesn't quite get the same amount of respect, but I think Green gets a little bit more respect. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be Black minus 4.5 points.
Gotcha. I'm right there with you. I was torn between 3.5 and 4.5. I think Black, being the defending champs, beating us prior, and us coming off a tough loss this week, that's why they're favored. And I think it's Black minus 3.5.
Great guesses again. The trend is continuing. Joey is on a hot streak. 3 in a row. It is the Blacktop Legends -2.5. So he's got it fairly close.
We overshot that one.
I did.
Interesting.
I thought you were going to say I nailed that one. 2.5. Okay,
Yeah, I
right.
thought the minute you said the trend continues, I thought Joey had it spot on. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Interesting. All right.
Interesting.
Well, Joey,
Yep.
you're up. You're
I'll
up
take it.
one, and there's 2 games to go. I gotta claw my way back here.
Yes. Okay, game 4 of the night is in the Creators Conference. It is my Graybeard Goats, #2 seed, versus the #3 seed White Sneaker Warriors, without Berg, which I believe was factored into the line.
Yeah. I think Berg's done for the season, if I'm not mistaken. So off the rip, I think with Big J down low, there's a big advantage. However, BK played very well the first time against Big J, the first time you guys played. That being said, he just got off a cruise. I have no idea what kind of shape he's coming back into. That's really going to be the interesting matchup, because we know that Gray can score. Vlad's been on fire since week. When was that? I don't even remember, 5 or 6. I'm not sure what shape BK is coming back into. And White is just coming off of a pounding of the Orange team. Alex is shooting the ball better than he has all season. Their confidence is super high. O'Hearn is a great player, an all-star in his first season. So, Joey, what do you think about the Gray versus White in this monochromatic matchup?
Right. Yeah. Not a lot of color there, but this is a tight matchup here.
I
First
love how
game.
you felt like you had to define that for the people watching.
I was just letting them know, I guess sometimes you gotta spoon feed them. So it's a couple guys in this league, you gotta spoon feed them. So the first game was a 37-41, lowest scoring game in SDL history, but that was obviously when you guys had the Warden and not Vlad. So you got a little bit of a different team here. O'Hearn versus Dennis is one of the best matchups in the league. I love watching that. You know what I mean? Big J versus the wall down low. Edie, and I'm assuming Alex or Javon chasing him around. That's going to be a fun matchup here. I'm assuming, just by the way that the league has been flowing, White has been rolling, Gray has been rolling. I think Gray is still favorite, in my opinion, only because they have a little bit more firepower and known commodities going into the postseason there. I trust Dennis, obviously. I trust him getting those big-time shots, making those big-time buckets. Jay is a menace down low. If he gets hot, this is a tough one here. Am I up first on this one, right? So
You are.
I'm thinking Gray's favored, and I'm giving the nod. Gray minus 2.5. I think it's going to be tightly contested if White can shoot and keep up with Gray, but I think it's Gray minus 2.5.
Interesting. I was between 3.5 and 4.5. As we talked about Big J and BK coming up through, I turned it down and said I'm going to go with Gray minus 3.5. I will say Reich tends to undervalue Gray, if you ask me. So that's why I lowered that number a little bit.
For me, White. If it was early season, I would have took Gray by 5 or 6. But White has been knocking down the shots.
It's true.
They've completely changed their game plan. They went from a shot chucking team to play inside out, and I love that about them. But
yeah.
Interesting. A lot of talk about the White Sneaker Warriors. Not much talk about the dominance that the Graybeard Goats have been on the last 4 weeks. But I digress. Mike sees this as being the closest game of the night.
Damn, I lost again. Son of a bitch.
He had at minus 3.5 points.
Oh.
Goats. Nahoda, you actually win this one. Dead on. I'm sorry. No, he had black and green at minus 2.5. I'm off on what I said.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say you're screwing me here.
Joey
roller coaster of emotions.
Joey had it as the closest. So it is now 3-1. Joey wins the week, but we're now even overall. This is for the overall lead in the pick'em, and we go to the toilet bowl, boys. Big game. It will be fun to watch. Golden tickets are on the line. If you lose, no golden ticket for your team. You will have to submit your own video to get back in. If you choose not to do it, you're not going to be in the league. It's that simple. There's some guys that are not very happy about being in this situation, but maybe play better throughout the season, and it doesn't happen. It's got to hurt a little bit to be in the toilet bowl.
Not only that, I think there's guys in amongst the 10 that genuinely won't do a video if they lose by
Yeah.
choice. Um, Me, frankly, I have no shame. I do a podcast about 40-year-old men playing basketball. So if we lose, expect a video from me. But yeah, the toilet bowl stinks to be here. I think the intensity is going to be ratcheted up. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, hopefully, because we don't play very good defense at Orange. That is our Achilles heel. We need to score up the points to keep it going. So I hope the buckets flow aplenty for the Orange team. We've played Yellow once before. I had probably my worst game of the season against Yellow. I'm expecting and hoping that not to repeat. But I think look, based on the injuries, based on the turnover in teams, based on the players that are involved, this was the right toilet bowl, considering just the way everyone has played. It's not good, but it's good that it wasn't, between a seventh and eighth place team or an eighth and ninth place team, excuse me, where, both probably deserve to be in the playoffs. It just wasn't in the card for the expansion teams this year. That's what happens when you expand into a league, especially season one. So it's almost expected, but feels right, just based on the way people have played this season. Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. Both teams, obviously, Yellow week one. Shout out to Demar. Hopefully, we see you back maybe next season. Hopefully, that's a quick heal. As soon as he went down, you knew it was going to be a tough season for them. You can't lose your number one guy. Orange over there, first couple weeks, couldn't figure out the chemistry. Guys were missing, making trades, injuries. Guys couldn't just get over that hump. But it's still, I hope you guys still have fun this season. It's tough coming back every week, taking loss after loss after loss. But also looking at this game this week, it was a 10-point game the first time you guys played. And
Hmm.
this is the toughest game to make a line for. I don't know. You don't know what to expect in the toilet bowl, guys. Like, what kind of turd is going to get flushed here? Like, what are we looking at? So let's. What do you think, man? What is your number on this one? You being part of it.
Yeah, I have to go first. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the last one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Look, I think you think Yellow's got to be favored. They won. They beat Red recently, coming off a hot streak. I think it's going to be a decent sized number. Again, Reich lied to us before, midway through the season and said Orange shouldn't be a single digit underdog to anybody. I think it will be single digits, but I think it's going to be a pretty hefty number. I think he's going to have Yellow minus 5.5.
Okay. It's so just curious. There's no Diaz, right? Just
That
so
is correct. No
correct. He
Diaz.
got hurt. Hopefully Diaz heal up. You need to come defend that 3-point championship next season. So Yellow versus Orange. Yellow's favorite, just like you said. I think it's going to be a little higher than that, only because Reich, like we said, he said you guys are never going to be single digit again. But I think he's lying, so I think it's going to be Yellow minus 8. No half points, just 8.
Okay. I will say, if either of those are the lines, I am taking out a double, triple, quadruple mortgage and betting the farm on Yellow. The Orange has not stayed within 25 points of an opponent in 4 weeks, at least.
Hmm.
It is impossible to set the line. It's astronomically low for what I think maybe toilet bowl and the extra implications changes things. Joey, you are the winner. It is minus 7.5 for Yellow. I feel like that's just an absurdly low line that Vegas would just get absolutely hammered on. Be it he doesn't want to put out a minus. I mean, if I'm setting it, honestly,
10.5.
I'm debating who to take at 17.
17, oh wow. I was
I'm just
thinking around 10. That was my number, so I went 8. But yeah.
I would have to think of who to take at 17. But under 17, give me Yellow all day long. Only
Interesting.
because Orange has gotten blown out every single game.
Yeah, I think the toilet bowl golden ticket implication is going to change things for the Orange team. Yeah, it's just we've been playing like we've been out of it. There's no spoiler, there's no spoiler mentality here. So I think that does change things. 17's a little high.
We'll
Hold on
see.
for you, baby. But
Okay, so pivoting off of that, let's talk about some regular season awards. So again, just
One
remind the
thing.
folks. Oh, please.
One thing I would like you guys to do real quick. Fill out your bracket.
oh gosh.
Okay. I got this. So I think game one, I think purple is going to beat maroon. I think that's going to be a slobber knocker of a game. I think purple is going to win. Um, the second game in that conference is black versus green. I think black wins that game. I think they win that game by 7 or 8 points. I think they show up to play, and black's like, hey, we're here. I think black and purple meet, and I ultimately think Vasquez has a 30-point game and takes purple all the way to the championship. On the creator side, gray versus white. I think gray wins that game. I think it's closer than people expect, but I do expect gray to win and take that slot. Red will end up beating blue. That's going to be a 15-point game, is what I expect. But I think gray will outwit the red team, and I think we will have a gray purple championship that ultimately purple will take home. It'll be a really close game. I see Vasquez balling out in the playoffs, but that is my playoff bracket. Oh, and orange is going to win the toilet bowl.
There you go.
Just throwing it out there.
So
There we go. Joey?
it's tougher for me because I gotta talk about myself in the playoffs now here. But I think my bracket is almost the exact same as yours, except I think green pulls it out versus black week 1, puts them ahead. I think purple also takes the victory versus maroon this week. For the creator side, I think gray beats white in a tightly contested slobber knocker again. It might come down to the last shot, and I think red wins versus blue in the second round. Staying on that side of the creators, I think gray will, like you said, the experience and the guard play. Honestly, from gray, I think they take it over red second round and move on to the championship. But take some humble pie here. I think purple will beat green second round, coming back after green beat them in the regular season. And the championship between purple and gray will be a slobber knocker, but I have purple eking that one out only because I think they're a little bit deeper and they have the championship caliber from the first half. So off the top of the rip, purple taking it home for me.
And the toilet bowl.
And toilet bowl. Oh no. I'm gonna say okay. So I think yellow is gonna win only because I want to see Nahoda's video. I want to see it.
Fair enough. How long do we have to make the videos? Can I like hire somebody to help with like production here?
There are literally no rules.
Let's go.
You just throw it back in by your peers.
Okay. Duly noted.
Yep.
Edie, do you want to give us your bracket?
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, you can't ask and not get reciprocated. Come on.
Yep.
That would have been nice. Okay, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna start on the creator side. I think red pounds blue. I just don't think blue has the mojo this year. Now, I said that if blue advances, I'm gonna take them to the championship, but I don't think they're going to. So red is gonna win the first one. I think gray is going to just barely outlast white, and I think it's going to be an ugly, ugly, ugly basketball game, and that's what white generally wins. It's going to be a low-scoring affair again, but I do think we'll pull it out. I do think we will catch red, and we will beat red. We almost beat them earlier in the season, so I do think we will get to the championship. On the other side, I actually have green pulling out an upset over black. I can see it happening. Black just doesn't seem like they've been gelling together the same way they did last season.
Some are saying Armando was the glue.
Some are saying. Now, that being said, green doesn't look like they're gelling at all. So it's kind of like jealous battle. I just think green might pull this one out. And then I'm going to say the winner of purple and maroon are going to the championship from this bracket.
Yeah, it's fair.
I think this game is a complete toss-up.
That's why I said it was a half a point. You called me out during the thing.
It's half a point for maroon. I would have gone half a point for purple, but
fair enough.
If you stick a gun to my head, the way maroon ends games in Elam is terrifying.
I know.
Gonna catch them at the worst time. So I got to give the edge to purple in a close game. That they're going to be able to come through and win that one. That being said, I think purple then runs away in the next game over green, and they make the championship. And it is gray versus purple, which was a wild regular season game. And We played horrible. They played unbelievable. Broke out the purple Globetrotters on us.
Mm-hmm.
We remember that game. We will be ready for it. And I think the Goats are finally going to bring it home, assuming I don't end the season concussed, because I end a lot of seasons concussed and I don't remember the end. If I
Especially when you play Esco.
free, we're winning. If I get another concussion, I don't know.
Red's probably watching this going, those MFers.
Yep.
Everyone's picking against us in round 2, so that'll be interesting. Okay, moving on.
That's
Regular
right.
season awards. To remind everybody, MVP, Opoi, Depoy, Rookie of the Year, Best Edition, and Most Improved. Um, Joey, why don't you take us through your MVP candidates?
Yep.
And then I think we both think we have the same guy in mind, so we can kind of talk about him. But who do you have?
Yep. Just a reminder, everyone, this is not the official winner. This is just who we think is going to win the award. The official winner will
Yep.
come out later. But yeah, these are going to be the nominees we think deserve that. For me, there's 4 guys, or 3-4 guys that come to mind immediately when you think MVP. Escobedo for the red team. His pie's always astronomical. Shooting percentage, he's one of the leading scorers all the time, and his shooting percentage is one of the highest in the league. Vasquez on
Sports
purple.
Vizio Player of the
Vizio.
Year.
That's right, Sports Vizio Player of the Year. He got that award. I don't know if he's going to get his pair of Sabrinas or what, but we got King Vasquez. He was monster first half before Purple took a little bit of a slide there. He was a monster out there. Dropped the highest point total this season, I believe, 46,
Mm-hmm.
47, something like that. Right behind, I believe Dennis still owns the leading scorer for the league. And then Dennis rolling right into that. He's been a monster all season long again for me. I think Esco, Vasquez, and Dennis all deserve honors. They lead their teams to great records. They all been winning, playing at a high caliber level. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's the 3 of them. I need to give at least a little bit of a nod to 2 things. So one, I think Vasquez wins this thing running away if he doesn't get hurt.
Right.
I think when he wasn't hurt, he was the MVP. I obviously totally agree with Esco playing incredibly well. Um, I think Gary Sackett deserves a little bit just to be mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
because when I
Agreed.
think of MVP, I like the traditional use of the word most valuable player, and we actually have a good sample size. When Maroon played without Saka, they sucked.
Right.
They were awful.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were to swap
Yep.
Saka out with another, A caliber player,
Mm-hmm.
I think Maroon is infinitely worse, right? I mean, you
Right. Right.
obviously if you replace an A with a D, that for any team's going to get worse, but
Mm-hmm.
I think A with an A, I think Maroon falls off a lot. So I agree. I think Saka deserves a couple of votes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we both agree the MVP this season is going to be, or we think it's going to be Anthony Escobedo. Esco, obviously
Yep.
great year. So not a whole lot. Not a whole lot more to talk about there.
Yep.
From an Opoi perspective, oh oh
Hold up.
Chiming.
MVP votes. Are you straying away from honoring the top pie guy? Because that's what it was last year.
So if it was top
uh
pie, I believe the top pie guy leading this season is Jay Mirabal, right? Big J is
mhm.
our number 1 pie guy. So we didn't even mention him. He definitely deserves a mention. Um, pie is
Just
a
Yeah, I'm
great
going away from
metric.
Pie.
Right,
Yeah,
pie
I'm
is a
going
great
away from
metric.
Pie.
It loves rebounding, obviously, because we're playing a half court league there, so it does sway that way a little bit. So I don't think it's skewed, but I go by the eye test, like you said. I mean, obviously, if you take Big J off of White, he's their best player, and they're not the same caliber team too. So he's right there. I mean, that's a great point by Edie. Pie is a great, starting point.
Yeah, but if you replace Big J with Esco,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is White's record better or worse or the same?
Wow, that's tough, So
It's probably not vastly different.
it's right. That's a part. You put me on the heater right there. Wow. Oh yeah. I don't know. It obviously improves their 3-point shooting, but then you lose size and rebounding and blocks because
Hmm.
Jay leads in
Hmm.
those statistical categories. So I mean, it completely changes the dynamic of their team. You play outside in then versus an inside out. So it's tough.
Threes are
actually,
worth more than 2, last I checked.
if
Right.
Esk was on white,
Right.
they would be worse.
Okay.
If Jay was on red, they would also be worse.
I
think they
agree. Right. They fit their teams properly. I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I mean,
Right.
that's what the team.
structured that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Right.
that they tried to that's the the league tried to structure it that way.
A little parody.
But yes, I probably would go against the pie in that regards.
Right.
From Opoy, obviously everyone talks about offensive. A lot of this is the same guys. I'm crossing
Agreed.
Esco off the list. Tough
Hmm.
noogies. You can't win both.
Right.
But Offensively, I think the assassin needs to get called out. The guy's just a walking bucket.
Hmm.
I think Vasquez is up there. I think Jason Perry gets a few votes. One of only three
100%.
guys with over 220 points, and the other two are who I just mentioned, Vasquez and Dennis. I think Jason Perry gets a shout out, and I think there's only one other person over 200 points. Do you remember who that is, Joey?
Edie?
Yeah,
It's got to be
200.
Edie. I was thinking in my mind, I'm
Yeah,
like, it's Edie. Yes, because
two,
he
two,
was early
209
MVP.
points.
Okay,
Go
yep.
ahead.
Shout out, Edie was MVP candidate first 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Until Dennis
Yep.
started. You know what I mean? He started to get going a little bit more and taking
S-
some of the I forgot about that.
Set the 3 point record.
Set the 3 point
Set the
record. Yeah,
in-game 3 point record, despite Rob's best efforts last week.
100%.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think deserves some votes.
Yep.
Look, gun to my head, I think Dennis and Vasquez are the two deserving candidates. They're both right
Hmm.
next to each other in points, and Vasquez played through some awful games,
Hmm.
hurt.
Right.
And so I think based on that, I would have to say Dennis probably gets the award, but I think
Hmm.
Vasquez was the person in line for the award and probably most deserving, if that makes sense. If he had just
Hmm.
not had a couple goinkers, and again, not his fault if he's hurt.
Right.
Yeah, I think I think Vasquez has been the best offensive player this season,
Hmm.
in a vacuum. How's that? But I
100%.
think Dennis will ultimately end up winning Opoy.
Yep, his percentages are great. Mid-range shot is butter. His three-point shot, I think, is better than last season. I didn't check the stats, but it seems to be dropping at a high clip this season. Yes, I have the same guys as you. Obviously, Dennis Vasquez has been on fire. I think he has the season high this season, like we said earlier,
Hmm.
46, 47 points. Jason Perry, my teammate, like we said, he shoots a high. He doesn't get the recognition that he deserves a lot of times because Green had a up and down season, but that guy is on fire a lot of the time. When he takes his shot, he
Yeah.
floats in the air. He's got the hang time, mid range, 3 pointers, driving to the hoop. Perry definitely deserving of a OPOY nomination. And Escobedo right there, like we said, can't win both. And then Edie on fire, set the 3 point record, can't leave him open. He gave me buckets last week. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like he dropped 25 on me, but just like that, buckets in the hoop. But agreed,
Yeah.
Dennis is just absolutely smooth on the offensive side of the ball and defensive, but offensively just on another level. So I think he's going to
Yeah.
pull it out this season, back to back. So far, Matt, that's reigning MVP back to back and reigning OPOY running back to back. So for the
It's true. It's
DPOY,
true.
this might be the
Yeah,
first
who do you
one
got?
we don't have a new guy, right? So off the top of my head, I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not looking at stats here, but the four guys that stand out to me would be O'Hearn. We nicknamed him the guard dog week one. We said it from week one. His defense is hounding. Coffer on Team Red, blocking everywhere. He's
Hmm.
got the youth, he's got the lanky, he's got springs in his step. Big J down low, Mount Mirrorball. We call him that for a reason. He guards the paint, probably, obviously leads the league in blocks all the time. And a newcomer, I believe, Gary Saka, leading the league in steals, always in the passing lane. Aggressive
Hmm.
defense, sometimes a little wacky, but it works. He gets in the passing lane. A great defender out there. Who do you think out of those guys is leading the pack a little bit?
Yeah, I had the same four. The same four. I
Mhm.
think again, Saka leads the league in steals. Probably gets the most steals off transition. I mean, that guy just every time there's a rebound, there's a kick out. That guy's just all around the ball. I think Kaufer and Big J have the most big defensive plays, if that makes sense. Like, if you don't watch the game super intently and you're just counting big defensive plays, both those guys are just everywhere. Kaufer can jump out of the gym. Jay's incredibly long.
Yep.
But when you factor in the non-statistical defense,
Mhm.
I think O'Hearn deserves some recognition. Was an all-star, up there in pie, and I don't know. I think O'Hearn's having a Depoy-esque type season. Genuinely,
Yep.
that's who I would give it to. But if any one of the four of those won it, I would just nod my head and go, yeah, I get it.
100%. Yeah, it's been a great couple new, obviously like three new guys. Three rookies as DPOY
Yeah,
candidates. You'd love to see it. These guys came
that's a good
in.
point.
A little bit of dirty work there. They said, "Hey, I'm gonna knuckles down and I'm gonna show these guys what I can do." And well, great seasons by obviously Big J too with Saka, Coffer, and O'Hearn locking it down.
The Edie came off screen here. What you have any opinion on Depoy?
I did not hear what you said, but
Fantastic.
I think um, I think collectively the award would go to White as an overall team. I think they play the toughest defense in the
Yeah.
league. They just grind it 24/7. I would give it to uh, O'Hearn. I think
Yeah.
he took
That's
on
what
the
I said
challenge
too.
all year long, and I think if we actually looked statistically at what the person did that he played against, I
Yeah.
think it would be a compelling argument. I would love to actually see that. I'm not going to take the time to do it because I'm pretty sure it's there, but it's a vast difference from their usual performance with
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very fair.
Yep.
Two next two awards, we're gonna do them at the same time, just for
Right.
the sake of time. So Rookie of the Year and Best Addition. So I want to clarify this for my co-host. So Rookie of the Year is gameplay. Who's the best rookie? Maybe not statistically, but on the basketball court. And then Best Addition, I kind of just made this up, but who was the best addition to the league? It's a rookie, obviously, but impacts both on and off the court. Are they in banter? Are they helping out, on the production side? Are they there late? Are they coming early? All of those different things. We obviously know who the rookies are, so we don't have to run through the candidates. I'm just gonna rip my two. I think rookie of the year on the court, it's got to be Gary Sacca. Guy's a menace, one of the better rebounders in the league. Forget just being a guard. Not that big, tries much harder than everybody else. Some of the best hands out there. Can get feisty, which obviously you want on defense. And I think best addition's got to be Alex C. Little Yeet. Look, I think he's everywhere. He's
Yep.
everywhere. He's out there helping. Was super active, volunteered for a whole bunch of stuff. So those would be my two rookies, rookie of the year and best addition. Again, obviously we know what the candidates are. So who do you guys think? For the newbies.
I'll go. For me, rookie of the year, I think it's a little closer than you had it. I think Saka, he pulls it out by a sliver, but I think O'Hearn was right behind him. Obviously, can't win DPOI and rookie. We're going to separate it out, but he was right there. Great year for O'Hearn. I think those were our top tier rookies. Then if you go down, possibly just one tier below them, you got like a Kaufer and Alex C, who had a great season as rookie guys too. Great additions to the league. But yeah, I think Saka wins it. O'Hearn right behind him on that rookie of the year. Then I'm right with you. Best addition to the league has been Alex C. He's been on the broadcast. He's been in the chat. He's been playing very well. Anything you ask him to do, he's right there. So very welcome addition to have Alex C. Alex Uso in the league now.
Edie, opinion?
Yep.
I think you guys nailed it. You said everyone that needed to be said. I'd have Saka as the rookie of the year. Overall impact on his team has just been insane, and then overall impact on the league. Alex C's been a blessing for me joining the league specifically. He's taken over so many things off my plate. Yes, sir.
When can we do the shop?
What?
When can we do the shop?
What's
The
up,
shop?
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, Alex C,
Yep.
by far and away, greatest addition to the league.
Love to see it.
And the last one.
SDL growing. Yep.
Oh,
Go ahead.
and the last one, most improved player. I got a little off the wall one for you, but year over year, if we're looking at this award from a year over year perspective, speaking of the wall, I think BK's got to be mentioned. In pure pie terms, I think Edie and Vasquez both pretty high in terms of the percentage of pie increase year over year. Again, Vasquez is an MVP candidate this year and wasn't last season, so that's interesting. But I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball at you. If this can even happen, I think the most improved player uh, within the season has got to be Vlad. Looking at the pie, Vlad on orange, we talked about it ad nauseum. It didn't work. Nobody works on orange. Orange was just constructed really weird. Didn't really work, didn't really fit. his pie numbers, Edie knows them off the top of his head. I forget what it is, like 2 pie per game or something crazy. And then on the goats, surrounded by 2 MVP/OPOY candidates, he's drawing a different defender than he was on orange. And pies up in the teens. I think it's a crazy, crazy improvement. Vlad's been playing incredible. Offensively shooting the lights out. Had a 30-point game, and maybe even 2 of them now at this point. So it's got to be. I think if you could do that again, I don't know if most improved player counts within one season, but if you could do that, I think it's Vlad. If not, I think it's one of the other guys I had talked about. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? It's not exactly apropos from a most improved player standpoint, but I think it kind of holds up.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. You know what I mean? If it's season over season, Edie had a great season last season, but it was even better this season. Same thing with Vasquez, good to great. BK, the Wall, shout out him. He had a great season. I even a guy like Furman stands out to me. He's a little lower first season, but second season
That's a good
had
one.
great couple game winners. But like you said, if we're keeping it in
Goldstein
season,
too, pie perspective.
Greg played great this season for Yellow. Obviously,
Yeah, Goldstein
he was
from a pie difference, good percentage increase.
Also, he was an All-Star nominee, honorable mention there. And but in
True.
season, yeah, Vlad from orange to gray, you know what I mean? Night and day, bada bing, you know what I mean? He absolutely showed who he really was. I feel like going to gray, playing a little more comfortable, knocking that shot down. But MIP, one of the overseason guys, or giving it to Vlad.
I'll give all accolades to my teammate. Vlad has been a game changer for the Goats since he got there. Confidently shooting the shot. He's not shooting more. It's about the exact same he was shooting on orange.
Percentage is like double though.
Yeah, it's a lot more catch and shoot versus him having to go off the dribble, which, if you're a catch and shoot like I am, that's a huge game changer. And then when you see shots go in, the basket just gets bigger for you, even if you're not the one shooting them. So I think watching Dennis make every shot, it makes it easier to throw one up and have confidence in it, because the shot doesn't mean as much because your team's already scoring points.
Yeah, that's very fair. And I think, honestly, Dennis might be the easiest guy to play with in the league. Frankly, he just makes everything. He makes everything better, makes the court bigger. For the offense to spread out. I mean, he's just incredible. So, yeah, look, guys. That's all I've got. I'm out of notes.
One additional.
One additional award. Lay it on us.
The SDL's most disappointing performance this season. The biggest disappointment in the SDL. Who do you guys have?
In a single game or the whole season?
Oh, goodness.
The overall season. Yep. Of what you expected from them versus what you got from them.
Oh, I think there's 2 clear candidates if you ask me. 2 clear candidates if you ask me. One of them is me. No doubt about it. And I think the other one's gonna be Rosenberg. Again, I think I said it earlier. Like, you'd think you'd expect him to be an MVP candidate with his talent and his skill. And it's not like he's played bad, but he barely edged into the All-Star voting because of pie. I just expect him to be a top 3 producer in the league. And frankly, he just wasn't having it. I think a couple other people that may have dropped. I think Baumer, had some big games, but has also been ice cold some points this season. And last year, I mean, that guy wouldn't miss from the parking lot. So that's an interesting one. Who else dropped off? I don't think there's anybody that is so bad relative to their expectation. Again, I think it's got to be me or Rosenberg. I can't imagine it being anybody else.
For me, thinking about it,
Joey,
I
have 2.
It's hard. For me, it had to be maybe Mikey Palmer. No points this season. Oh wait, no, he's not in the league anymore. Sorry, Mikey. That was a straight bullet. My bad. So I guess it's tough for me to do that. I hate calling somebody out because you never know what's going on. But
come on, make enemies here.
I can't. It's tough. There's a few guys. I know Gary had a real tough first half. I think his knees were bothering him a little bit there. He started to come around the second half. He had 19 rebounds last week, so that was a much more the camper performance. I pin it on
That's a
myself.
good one.
Like
That's a really
I
good
feel
one.
like at the end of the last season, ChatGPT had me as a fringe top 10 player in the league, and now it has me, probably
Mm-hmm.
around 30-ish. So that's a big drop off for me. So I'll put the target on my back and say I got to play better. That's why Green wasn't, higher in the standings this season. But it was still a fun
So
season.
PC. Give us a
So
raw
I got to
answer.
keep it, handshakes. I like to build bridges, not burn them, baby.
Interesting. I wanted to throw this one at you mainly because I just wanted Nahoda to say himself because
Oh, for sure.
The way I am looking at this is obviously I was very much into the player evaluations and where we had players tiered for their teams and how they performed on the season. So I'm viewing it from that metric of how far away we missed on where we placed them for their team. So there's a couple, Nahoda definitely on the list. Diaz also
Oh yeah, yeah.
on the list. We probably had expectations too high for Diaz in all honesty, but we just remember the JCC juggernaut that he was.
Free throws make a difference. He used to
Free throws
feast at the
make
free throw
Gross,
line.
yes.
And then one guy who had a lot of hype coming into the season and just really laid an egg was DeMar. He just really didn't show up after the first half of the first game.
Oh,
that one's gonna
poor DeMar.
Love DeMar.
Oh,
I just wanted him in the season recap video.
Speaking of DeMar, if Yellow loses, he has to make a video, right? There's no injury red shirts. He's a yellow light hustler.
I don't know because he's not technically on the team anymore. I don't know.
That's even worse. You have to make a video.
That's a great question.
Good question.
We'll have to go to vote on that one. That's
I love DeMar. I want to see that video.
I think he will. Now that being said, he's not going to have to make one because they're going to win. But should they lose, he would have to make a video. I agree with that.
You heard it here first, folks. 17.5 point line.
17.5. That's right.
We'll see.
Okay, Edie, I know it's a quick turnaround. When are you going to get this thing pumped out for the folks?
Not going to be glamorous. It's not going to have all the bells and whistles, but it's going to get pumped out there tonight.
Cool. We didn't have a single cut, so that's usually a good sign. I usually fumble over myself at least once or twice. So
no cuts, and as Joey goes through all those stats, there's going to be nothing popping up on the screen. It's just going to be Joey talking.
He did it too quickly for you to be able to do that anyway.
You know what I mean?
Just put steal the 2-minute drill from the Berwyn halftime show and slap that over there, and your editing work is done.
That's right.
Yes.
You should do a timer. Actually, I'm curious how close to 2 minutes he actually was.
I hope I hit it. I don't think I hit it. But yeah.
One final thing for anyone still watching: this is glorified pickup basketball. We are going into the playoffs. Everybody wants to win. It's still pickup basketball. If someone taps you on the arm on your shot, on your non-shooting hand, it's not a foul. You wouldn't call it a pickup. Don't call it here. A foul is not what a ref would call. A foul is what you would call in a pickup game. And that is important that we remind ourselves. Charges, flopping, which we had some incidents last week. No place for it in the league. It's unspirited. Just play basketball, have fun, let the best team win. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We're going to start another season next season. It's a big, awesome bucket. We all want it, but let's just keep it good. We know the level is going to get raised a little bit, but just remember, this is glorified pickup basketball. If you ball out and own everyone in this league, it proves nothing. It's a bunch of middle-aged men playing basketball. Nothing to brag about. So let's just have fun.
Unless it's the toilet bowl, then it's no holds barred because loser is out.
Yes.
Play for your
Toilet
life.
It'll be SDL at that point.
Yeah,
you got
playing for your life in the toilet bowl is different. But yes, that rule applies to the first 4 games tomorrow.
100%.
Hey, look, for my co-hosts, Joey, Jason, as usual, thank you for the production. Joey, thank you for co-hosting. And, we'll see you guys next week, and we'll have some playoff results, which should be interesting.
Right.
Yep, let's get it.
My co-host. See you guys next week.